because the parents are not as involved as they could be. They're having problems with their children. And the third issue within that district has to be the lack of perception that our children aren't being educated. Our children are being failed. And that's not the case. We have very good teachers in the school system and principals who are wanting to see these children make a difference. And we have to lose that perception that we're failing all of our children. And in that district, it's a desirous district. It needs some help, but all of the children are not lost. And we can help each and every one of them in their own special way. So those are some of the issues that plague the area right now.
So as a city council member, what type of collaborations would you help to put in place to go about addressing those issues?
Again, communication with the schools, with the principals of those schools. I mean, you have your district, your city school district, but you really need to get to the schools. You need to talk to the principals. You need to talk to the teachers. What do we need to do to enhance the parent involvement? Does that mean that we need to gather opportunities to gather everyone together in a nice, fun-filled way where there's release of tension? Sometimes when parents go to school to their children, they're tensed up about something. It's either they felt that something was wrong, and when they go in, they're not even addressing the real true issue as to why they're there in the first place. So maybe we need to release that tension that parents have against teachers and involve the principal in with some type of gathering together. It doesn't have to be picnics and all that kind of stuff, but we need something to get teachers and parents more involved in the school system. And that can come in many different ways and over the course of the school year. You have parent-teacher meetings, true enough, but maybe you need something on the outside so the parents can understand that these teachers are just like you, and they need your help. So what do we need to do to get you on board? And if that means that we need to be a little more flexible, if there's programs that I can help implement with being a member of the city council, I want to work towards that, so that we can make sure that parents are involved in their children's lives. That's just so important, and that's what I think should happen.
That noise is really bad, isn't it?
I'll just keep on going. I'm
sorry.
It's okay.
I keep hoping it's the last one. It happened yesterday, but there was only like 2 of them.
Oh, no, just keep on going.
So apologize. We're sorry about that.
That's right. I'm strong.
Let's talk about the city now again.
Okay.
What do you think, in your opinion, what do you think are the most important elements of a short-term and a long-term strategic plan for the city of Memphis?
Short term. All right. For the city of Memphis, in the short term, we need to enhance its perception of Memphis, of the city, and that can happen in many different ways. One, of course, is getting out in the communities more. Strengthening the neighborhoods within the city of Memphis. I don't think we're doing a good enough job with that. We need to get out there. We need to hit the streets running within the communities in the short term, because at least they know that their council people are listening to them. They understand what's going on. In the same time, in the long term, you can take their ideas and work on solutions to the problems or issues at hand. Because a lot of times funding is necessary. Funding is not going to come right then and there. It's going to come over a long haul. However, we can start doing planning stages. We can plan better, we can communicate better, and we can try to strengthen the communities that we are now losing because we are working on other areas to develop. But we need to go back into our communities and start building them up, just as we build our children. When we lose our children out of the communities, we're losing that base. Because when you have an older community, I live in an older community, but when my children are leaving, who's going to take up for the grandmother great-grandmother, the cousins. Who's going to take up for that one lady or man that was a mantle within the community? So we need to strengthen that over the long haul, but in the short term, we can do the communication. We can find out what are the issues. We can try to fix the immediate needs of those individuals within the community.
We talked about the ongoing crisis, the funding crisis. And how would you integrate the will of your constituents into your actions as a city council member?
Communication again. I mean, I keep saying this because it's so important. One of the reasons why you have such a disconnect with communities is because you don't have that communication. You're missing that piece. You want to take what the people say to you and use it as an avenue to work towards development projects. You want to work towards education pieces. You want to know to reduce crime. The best way to reduce crime is people in the neighborhood. They know who lives down the street. they know who's committing all this activity that's not on Blue Crush's radar. So the best way to effect a lot of this change in the area, in the city of Memphis and in the community, is to actually listen to the people.
And how would you listen to the people? I mean, how are you going to go about doing that?
Well, they have regular meetings, just like we do. We have regular meetings. You need to attend those. You can't attend every neighborhood meetings. And then put a neighborhood coalition together of individuals who are representing each community. Put them in a room together. Because at the end of the day, they all have the same concerns as you do. So why are we fixing one and not fixing the other? When we can put them all in a room together and figure out a plan that can be implemented to help everyone in their neighborhoods. So that's what I would do. I think that's important.
Can you talk to us a little bit about what led you to run for city council and what's your passion for running and kind of why you got into the race?
I ran for city council in 2006 in a special election against Dedrick Brown. And when I ran, I wanted to change. I wanted to see a difference within the community. This time when I ran, I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to see a difference that should be made in the community. Not just the community that I live in, but the district in general and the city of Memphis. Because when you sit before the city council, or when you sit on the city council, you're representing not just your different district, but everybody. So you have to make sound, rational decisions that are going to affect indirectly or directly the individuals that you represent. So I found that maybe the decisions that have been made in our area have not been the best of decisions. I've watched individuals and developers come into neighborhoods without communicating to the individuals what you're wanting to do. I think that needs to change. I think we need to make a change within the community. We need to make a change within the council, and we need to communicate better with our neighborhoods. And that's what I want to do. And when you start talking about education, you can't leave that behind. I mean, that's very important. And we want to make sure that we keep a connection within the community, within our educational system, that will mesh the two together so that you can build both entities at the same time. So my passion is many, many things. Someone had asked me what was my passion, and my passion is people, helping people. My passion is watching children grow to where they are today. I do tutor children. I watch them. I've seen them where at that age I was far much ahead of them than they were at this time, and that bothers me. And I said, why am I still sitting here with you doing this and you're at this age? You need some help. What do we need to do? So my passion is helping people on all levels, no matter what education I've gotten. I've taken that education and put it back into my community as much as possible so that I could affect change on some level.
Can you give us an example of a time and the example and then the results of this time where you went against the grain and you made an unpopular vote, but you knew that the vote was right, and how you worked within that system of people that you were working with and the unpopular decision or vote that you had made?